Lennox and Parker, this is your editor-in-chief, Christal Jordan, back with another amazing digital cover. We are celebrating Bozoma St. John. She is, I don't even know how to describe it. She is everything. She is the professional guru. She is marketing maven. She is fashion icon. She is style. She is a real housewife of Beverly Hills. She is all of that. And she's here with us today as she's preparing for the Badass Workshop. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
We're excited. First of all, welcome to Atlanta.
Yes. Okay, look, with all the accolades.
Yes,
I'm with it.
all of that. I feel like you belong here. You got to come back.
I know.
More
I do.
and more. Yes,
I do.
yes. So, I was looking at everything that you've done. It's still so hard to even put everything into words, but I remember being so impressed with your career, looking at Apple, looking at Netflix, looking at Starbucks, like huge commercial, corporate names, giants, if you will. And we're at a time, 2025, after just having a new president in office, where so many people are afraid of there not being DEI opportunities.
Right. Yeah.
How are you feeling? What advice do you have to people with everything that's going on right now?
Yeah. Well, look, I am human, just like everybody else. I get as scared, I get as nervous, I get as frustrated, angry, sad. Like all of those emotions also affect me.
Right.
And at the same time, I have always felt like the ways to my destiny, the ways to change the world have been solely within my own power. And so even after the election was over, there was that time where everybody felt like they were under a cloud.
Yes.
And it actually just pissed me off.
Yeah.
I was so riled up by the results that I was like, oh, see, I'm gonna go do something better. I'm gonna go out and do something more. And to be honest with you, I think that a lot of people can talk the talk, but when you are in the boardroom and no one can hear you, no one outside can hear you, and you have to defend the decisions you're making, that's when your mettle is tested.
Right.
And for me, I've told this story publicly, that when I was at Apple, I was making shots about DEI and hiring more diverse candidates, and by the way, specifically Black women candidates, even to, get a talking to about that. But I was okay with it because I felt it was my responsibility. I didn't need to leave it to the chief diversity officer to do it.
Right.
As the head of marketing, I was like, you know what, in order to tell more stories, I need more diverse voices. So that's up to us.
Yeah, I like that. Because there's usually, a lot of us were taught to have this respect and almost a fear. Like when you get into this position, hold on, right? You got a good job, Bozoma. Now you got a good job.
Ooh, girl, yes.
Don't mess up the money. Don't mess up the money. So how did you break through that?
Yeah.
To have the courage to speak up?
You know what? I think it's all wrapped up in my lack of fear about what my destiny is.
Okay.
And what is meant for me, right? And so in every job that I have decided to leave,
yes,
people have said that to me,
right,
which has been like, oh girl, no, you've got money made,
yes,
like you're in the corner office,
yes,
like, you've got promotions coming, why would you get up and leave?
Yes.
And so without having a fear of that, I also don't have a fear when I have to do the thing I need to do in the job. And so I'm not concerned if you think that I'm making a biased decision on the people I'm hiring, because I'm trying to get the job done, and I'm going to get it done the best way I know how. And that means I've got to hire people who have talent for it. And I'm not worried about Chad.
Right.
Okay, print that.
Right, print that. So that's one piece of it, right?
Yeah.
Doing what you're supposed to do. And obviously you've been right, because your moves have, they've led to bigger and bigger and bigger things. For women that are on that road and on that journey, and they're trying to balance it all, right? There's so many conversations about women that are too strong or too masculine or too aggressive.
Yes.
Okay. Ooh. You have it all, right? So how do you balance that? How do you manage to show up and tell Chad what he can do, right? And yet come home and have this amazing relationship, right? And also be a friend and a girlfriend. We're chatting about fashion, but yet you can slip back into that. How do you balance all that and keep your femininity in that, and yet still be very effective in all those different spaces?
Here's the really tough answer, is that I don't know that there is balance, right?
Yeah.
I am singular in the way that I am. The way that you see me right now is the way I am in my relationship. It's the way I am in my motherhood. It's the way I am in my friendships. It's the way I am in the boardroom, right? I come just like this.
Okay.
And so for me, the balance, and my colleagues will tell you that. Like, this is no surprise.
Right.
Nobody would be surprised if I look like this.
Yeah.
So I think that the way that I've balanced it has been finding people people who accept me as who I am in this way.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so the rooms that I'm in, whenever I've gotten into a job or by the way, not even into the job, in the interview, when I feel that there is some, a little bit of friction about who I am, because I'm not pulling back my hair in the interview.
Right.
I'm going to wear it the way I'm going to wear it in the office. So you know exactly who you're talking to, And if I feel a little bit of friction, then I know that this is not the place for me.
Right.
Regardless of the paycheck, regardless of
the man. Girl.
All of that. Right. And so for me, it's like the balance has been in making sure that I am wholly myself in every single space, so that I don't have to turn off the alphaness when I'm at home.
Yes.
Or I don't have to turn down my fashion sense when I'm at the office, or so that I don't have to put my Instagram on private. Yeah. You're gonna see me out loud.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, another question. You show up in the corporate space. Do you feel like you show up, your blackness is first or your womanhood is first?
Oh, that's a really hard question, because I don't know that I can choose.
Yeah.
I'm a black woman.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like to be black without being a woman. I don't know what it's like to be a woman without being black.
Right.
So for me, it's like this beautiful identity that I have. I always walk into rooms and I'm just like, you are so welcome that I'm here. God bless you for having the opportunity to interact with me.
Absolutely.
Because it's like in my work, I'm able to bring that perspective. And oh, by the way, that's not my only identity. I'm a widow. I'm a single mom. I'm a really great best friend. It's like I'm bringing so many identities to the work. And I feel like that's actually what has made me successful, is that I didn't shy away from any of those identities. And so when I'm reviewing work or when I am giving my input, I'm giving it exactly as who I am. And so by the way, if you didn't like that, you should never have hired me into this job.
Unapologetic.
Absolutely.
Biggest word I've got is unapologetic.
Yes.
Last question. So many women look up to you. Myself, I remember I really admire all that you've been able to do, sister. I can say that to you honestly. I was so excited about this workshop.
Yeah.
What advice? I know there's a lot of us in here that are going to get the information from you hands-on today.
Yes.
But for women reading this, right, we want to celebrate you with a digital cover because this is National Women's Month. And what an amazing example of womanhood you are in so many spaces, and encouraging us not to shirk, not to stand up in all of that, to stand tall in every piece of it, every dimension of it. Advice to women watching.
Oh, gosh. I want us all to show up truly in the fullness of ourselves.
Yes.
There's so much shrinking that happens. And I have talked about this a lot, about being unapologetic, because we say that because it's a catchword, it's a catchphrase, but every day we walk around apologizing. It's like when you don't put yourself first in your life, you apologize. When you don't wear your hair the way that you want to, you apologize. When you question if you should wear this shirt or that shirt, you're apologizing. Every step that you take in every room that you go into, you apologize before you even say anything.
Wow.
And so taking back some of that power, like thinking about the fact that like, oh, you know what, I feel like this today. And walking out your house like that, now that's unapologetic.
Now that's unapologetic.
Yeah.
I want to thank you so much for your example. We need more women like this on Bravo's Real Housewife franchise. Amen. What a breath of fresh air, right?
Amen.
Not putting the head down, not following the trend, showing up in your full unapologetic self.
And maybe this actually starts that trend. How about that?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I believe so. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Amazing.
I so appreciate you.
All right. This is Lennox and Parker. Amazing conversation. You can find out more on the website, more about the Badass Workshop, more about Bozoma St. John and everything that she has going on. Of course, check out The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills on Bravo. This has been your host, Christal Jordan, editor-in-chief of Lennox and Parker. I'm going to go in and get some of these gems from Bozoma. I'll see you guys later.